draw. How could it? Just kidding. Mm. Oh, your own goal. Still on the grind. Yeah, I just gotta stream some games before they turn the servers off. sadly none of the team are available to join me and chat about it, but it's been a lot of fun. Can't wait for the actual game to come out. Alright, so you didn't test it either. I'm just chatting with Nova Spectre in the chat, for those who didn't see it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun building the team. I actually haven't touched my team for about a week. I kind of got them to where I liked, and they don't win every game, but it's still fun. In fact, it's fun when they don't win, because you can kind of see how the other team plays and what makes them better. Sometimes I can't tell, I look at their cards in here, for example, and I can't really tell why a particular player seems to beat me, especially seeing as they haven't upgraded all their cards, whereas I have. But it doesn't worry me. A lot of fun. Yeah, I kind of got my strategies to a point where I was happy with the diversity, and they sort of won 3 games, lost 1 and drew 1, or lost 2 and drew 1, or something like that. So that's alright. I don't mind. I still enjoy watching the games. I would love it if they spaced themselves out a bit more. I mentioned that in my feedback, is that I get that they're supposed to look like 5-year-olds running around as a rugby scrum on a football field, but I kind of wish that it was a bit more pretty to watch, because it's a little bit of a mess. Like, I don't mind them starting out like this, but I'd like to see some kind of progression into turning it into the beautiful game. A bit of cross-field passing, a bit of, man-on-man defense. I get that it's kind of blocking the hole, but it just kind of makes for a bit of a messy game. But still fun to play, and I still keep clicking the button. Hey Zapdart. I've played you a few times, bro. You've got a good team. See if you pop up on my random opponent. I can't wait for them to change the bit where you can check on your own stats. That was a bit of an oversight, I think. Like, who would want to see their own stats, right? Oh, great goal. I do enjoy having a couple of defenders drop back, and a couple that try to push forward. That's my preferred style of play, but obviously sometimes it doesn't work. But nice. A defender who can score from 3/4. It's a cool game. I look at this and I think, wow, imagine if they did this with like 3-on-3 basketball. That would be so cool. Sign up Shaq or someone to put their name behind it. And it kind of, I'm hoping the boxing is less frenetic, less sort of amateurish looking. From the behind the scenes stuff that I've seen, they're making it look awesome with the way that they're capturing all the movement, but kind of get a feeling like this particular format of the AI League is a little bit messy. Maybe that'll change. Hey Zapdart, so for those who can't see the chat, he's written that he played for the first 4 days of release and had fun playing me. When I'd be interested to know, like when you play me as I come up as a random team, is my team tough? Because I looked at my stats that someone shared with me. I think I won 1,000, lost 450, and drew 350 or something like that. So it felt like I was at least 2-1 winning when I play. But when I'm the opposition, is it just as tough, or is it? I'd be interested to know. I imagine they are, but you just never know how they've set it out. Look at that, 3-0 against me. Yeah, I kind of played for the first wee while and then took a week off. I just thought I'd turn it back on before they turn the servers off. Oh, come on, ref. He kicked it before the full-time whistle. Doesn't matter. 3-0. Well done, LeBronson. I kind of wish they had more character animations as well, like when you lose a game, the end screen should be them all sulking like children. We're going to run around like 5-year-olds, then we should sulk as well. Nova Spectre says, community testing and feedback is definitely powerful for the team to improve and tweak the builds. Agreed with that. Way more so than if we just did internally. Yep, I'd expect the game to improve iteratively with updates, patches, even after full release. Yeah, absolutely. Zapdart says he was winning maybe 90% of his games, so wasn't sure if he were playing people's full strength team. Yeah, I hope they do open up an AMA or some kind of feedback where we can all ask questions about the game, because I mean you kind of want to play it so that it's fun to play, and it's fun to play when you're winning, so I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of tweak it a little bit so that if you're an opposition team, if you're an away team, you win slightly less of the time, but you also want to have that tough opposition where you have to try and beat them. For a while I was playing like 1 or 2 people and that was it. I wonder whether they did mix it up at our suggestion, because I kind of got to a point where I was like 2nd or 3rd on the leaderboard and I was just like playing Metal Alex the whole time. Every game was the same opposition, whereas now that seems to be more mixed up again. Throwing their teddies. Nova Spectre says the Aphid All-Stars have some sad animations being developed. Game needs some tweaks, but has tons of potential. Very fun. Yeah, absolutely. Dev P. I think I've played Dev P before. What's your favourite arena? I like this music, but it does get a bit repetitive. One of my suggestions was that the arenas should have a genre of music. So like if this was kind of a Caribbean style on this particular arena, then maybe there's like a dozen songs that it randomly plays so that it doesn't get quite so repetitive. This is your favourite? My favourite's the city. The one with kind of, come on, oh! I was going to say, don't kick it away. I've seen them stand in front of the goal and kick it the opposite direction. Yeah, I quite like the city one because of the sort of 80s synthwave vibe music. Quite enjoy that. But this is cool too. Oh, dude, from in the goal. That was about as full length as I've seen. Zapdut says, are you more or less excited for AFA based on your experience with AI League? More excited, because I know that with AFA it's going to be more about our brains, our strategies, the learning side. With this one, for public release and not being quite so sort of brain oriented, I kind of feel like this one is more of a general AI that you get to kind of tweak a bit with your card choices, with your traits. Whereas AFA, I believe, is going to be far more linked to your brains and development and learning. So that kind of gets me a bit more excited. Plus the fact that I own the characters, I think that's really cool too. Oh, dude, off the post. Nova Spectre says the city one is my favourite too. Yeah, I'll play that one next. I think AFA is really going to cater to the data nerds, but I still think AI League will do great. I think this is great for a general public and a way of introducing the idea. I kind of hope that they have some kind of link to the AFA platform from within here. Hey, now that you've tried this, how about you own your own players, kind of thing. Sorry, 2-0 to me, Zapdut. I don't know if you noticed, but that was you playing. I might just show the store for those who haven't seen it. Buy a loot box and see what clothes I get. It's been kind of fun. I think my particular style gets a bit boring. Like, I've seen other teams and their fashion looks way better, so I don't know whether it's just that I'm bored of my sort of bluey grey colours. I've got another mythic hat. Nice. So once you've bought your loot box and you get your clothes, you can come into the club room and then kit them out. And this is where my team is based. But one of the suggestions I made is allow me to only customize my team. Like, if I'm now got to a point where I like my players, I don't want to have to scroll through all of these other players to try and find the ones that I want to change, and then I forget which one is which. Maybe we could change this to the hat. Vulture. So now my first player's hat's changed. Let's go to the city. Oops, hold on. So it's been fun kind of trying to collect all the different clothing, and I'd love to have them all identical just for fun, but it's hard. Some of those mythics are quite rare. For those who haven't been able to test the game themselves, there's a speed button down the bottom. When you have it on 1 times, it's like it plays in slow motion, which can be cool for making sense of the madness. It also plays, when you're in 1 speed, it plays with 1 second is a minute of time. So that's cool too, but it does get a little bit slow. If I put it onto 3x, it makes the game go a lot faster. It's harder to see what's going on, and fun when they score goals like that, but sometimes you can't see who scored the goal or how your team is playing. This is the ideal speed for grinding, so that if you're trying to just earn points, earn coins, get through the game as quickly as possible, then the 3x is a good speed. But I find for actually watching, the 2x is better because it's more like sort of a real speed. A replay system would be cool. Yeah, I've suggested that as well to them. Even like having the ability to turn replays on or off as a whole, or replay every goal, or replay some of the goals. That kind of ability might be cool. I think when they ran their promo video, it kind of had the camera zooming in and around the field and pausing as the player kicked the goal. That kind of thing would be awesome. Or even just a replay button where you could, hey, I love that goal, I want to watch a replay, click it, and it just plays the last second of the game. Kind of like in real football matches when they replay a goal in slow-mo. Yeah, that's the way I feel about it. Your next comment is, post-match you can choose to go back and see a bunch of highlights. I think that might be too data intensive, but it would be good to get the team's feedback on that. My feeling is that when I come into a game and I click AI League Tournament Start, and it says random, okay, here's your opponent, and you go next, and then you choose your arena. I think that's when the AI runs the game and the game is run. Like right now the game's decided, and then we watch the visual representation of all of that mathematics in the background. That's my feeling of how it works, because nothing I can do now will change the game outcome, because all I can do is change the camera location and change the speed, but the game is kind of just playing out, and I wonder whether that plays out in a split second and then it just plays it. So I guess you could go to any match in the database, if there is a database of matches, and play replays from it. Maybe that might be something they could do in the future as well, where I could go and see my game history. But I've played 2,000 games now, so do I really want to scroll through a history of 2,000 games? And that's just over 3 weeks. Like, what happens this time next year when I played 1 million games? But it might be fun to pull up a particular opponent and play all the goals that you've ever scored against that opponent. I think storage of every single match would be intensive, but a recent history would be cool. Yeah, I'm not so sure I really care about what I played a year ago, but you're right, like as the game spreads and we get, let's say 200,000 players, obviously down the track, I think there's room for kind of superstar matches where people could log into something, like I could stream it like this, or there could be a channel where it plays replays of some of the most exciting games as voted by viewers, or something like that, where all it's doing is dipping into its history in the database and re-rendering that, either on demand or over a particular schedule or something, like a TV station. I think that could be really fun. In fact, I think once the next Legends starts their boxing match, and come on, get it in the goal. So next Legends will have their boxing, and Adam Car Club will have their car races. Like once we've got half a dozen sports, hopefully there'll be some way of us enjoying. Getting frustrated at how they keep hitting the post. Some way of us enjoying, some kind of highlights package off the wall. Nice goal. Yeah, so I think there's heaps of potential. I'll show people the standings. So country, as far as I'm aware, is kind of region, because I noticed there were some people in here from Australia, etc. So it's more like a region rather than a country. And then obviously global. 108,000. Wow, I'm up to 90,000. Okay, that's pretty cool. It's actually pretty easy to earn lots of points. Like, as far as grinding goes, most of these people down here will have played for a while and then just turned it off. But if you play a couple hours a day, you can get that up. Damn, look at me. Yeah, third on the list. For the first week I had like 3 days in bed with a sore back, so I just like tried to get onto the global top 10. But of course, when you've got people playing for a bit and then not coming back, it's pretty easy. See, I like that colour palette. Like, same coloured skin, they have pink as well, but they've got yellow hair and purple hats. Mine is kind of this grey. It's obviously I bought the metallic ones, but like, look at their clothes. It's kind of this light blue, light grey kind of base colour. Anyway, just a thought. Go back to Ohia Bay. Ohia. Apologies that the game sound has to come through my microphone. I've got screen copy running, but despite it telling me that I have installed version 2, which runs the sound through it, it doesn't pipe the sound through the computer, so I've literally got my microphone pointing at my phone. Pretty rustic. There should be much more bass to the tune. I haven't really figured out what that... Oh, right on the full time. The whistle was blowing. I haven't figured out that mechanic where the player increases in size. It kind of seems to be random. Doesn't seem to be attached to any one particular trigger. Look at that. That's awesome. What's really cool about these traits, or these, wearables, is that they could be sponsored, they could be, the community could create them and have them added to the library. Like this, there's a lot of potential there as well. That's so funny. I love that. TV head. Try this one. Power up seeming random is good feedback to give for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the way they've built it. Like, I think it's random in the sense that every so often a trait or a character will just expand, and it seems to make all the other players sort of fall over or shake their heads. So it's kind of like this random disable the other team moment, but I don't know what causes it. Like, it seems to be all of my players will do it whenever. It doesn't seem to be linked to a trait. So that's fine. I just, it also wasn't explained, so there's no sort of reference material I can read that tells me why it happens or why they teleport. I have seen them teleport with the ball. So I've seen my guy teleport to in front of the other goal and kick the ball in the goal, which I think was a bit crazy, but also kind of funny. And I think that's it. It's a bit light-hearted, this whole game. I guess that's kind of part of what they're doing, is keeping it light-hearted. What I don't understand is why they run towards the ball and then run away from it. Like, is that a stamina thing? So when you come into, you edit your matchday squad and you come into their traits and you edit, you can't edit the genome, right? That's just who they are. But if I click on these cards, I can choose a new card, and one of the things that's annoying is that when it's not upgraded, like the super stopper on this particular character, I can click on the button and it explains what it is. Stays back to defend the goal more often, and so I can unlock that for experience points, which now unlocks it, and I could get rid of Blast Off and use this one instead. It's purple because it's the lowest rank, and if I click on level up again, it'll give me the explanation, and then I can upgrade to level 2. So that's how that metric works. But where does the teleport come from? I think it applies to the whole team, but I don't find anywhere in here where that is linked to a particular trait, so that's fine. But some of those explanations aren't there. Which one should we do? Try this one. There must be a base chance for all team members to power up, but it becomes more common for a player if spaced. Oh, really? Okay. I think that was an own goal. Where's the replay? I want to play that again. Turn around, face the other goal, you numpty. I mean, obviously, when the main game is released, all of that will be explained or explainable. But I do think it would be fun being able to stream it, or stream particular games off the post. If you happen to play a team member or your arch enemy and beat them or something, like maybe you could mark that game and set it up as a game that should be within a database of games that get streamed, that kind of idea. I don't know what their plans are, if any, for that. But it has been a lot of fun. Keep forgetting to tap to skip, sorry. I like this angle, the top down. I just wish it was closer in, like I don't need to see the venue as much. I'll show you what I mean if I make this figure here and then transition. So this kind of width is better for me. Like, I don't need to see the buildings and the crowd and stuff. I want to see the game. In another chat that's not on Twitch, Richie Rich mentioned your team may as well be 5-year-olds when you first get them. They are untrained. Yeah, and I heard that was part of the point. I just wish that as you train them, like, I've got a pretty strong team. I've got a lot of experience points. I've won 1,000 games. Well, have I? Yeah, I think so. Won 1,000 games. I would have thought that by now they might start looking less like 5-year-olds. So I don't know what metric they're going to employ with that. Train and level them up and they will be messy in no time. Yeah, well, maybe. But what, 1,000 wins isn't enough to get slightly better? They still look like 5-year-olds. Sorry, I need to change the camera angle. Even on this angle, we don't have much time left. I might slow it down just to give me time to do it. Even on this angle, perhaps this is a better, maybe not that much. But like punched in even more. Don't quite need to see so much around the edge. Yeah, quite like that. Oh, sorry. I'm looking at it on my preview screen. Hold on. I'll get into the next game and show you. Amateur. What a noob. Right. So this is the width that they give us by default. What about that width? Like potentially losing a bit of the ability to see the game just because you want to show us more of the surround. Maybe we could have that as a view option, wider out, maybe a view following the ball a little bit closer. Or even more extreme punching. But of course it would have to... I hadn't actually noticed the camera movement. That's kind of cool. With it on wide I've just never really noticed it, but now that I'm zoomed in I can see it a lot more. Kind of like a handheld camera. Kind of cool. Go back to normal width. I'm not entirely sure at what point today they're going to turn the servers off. We might just get to a point where it suddenly stops working. I'll show you what happens when you buy a team. So you can buy a single, for 2,000 coins, or a whole team for 6,000. And it randomly gives you 4 players with 4 different genomes. Doesn't show you. Oh, that's kind of cool. Got the visors. They do come with some traits. Quite like those visors, they're cool. The visors you can't change. You can change the hats, their tops, their leggings and their shoes, but whatever their eyes are is what your eyes are. So if you're looking for a particular genome with a particular eye combination, you might have to buy a whole bunch. The difficulty where it currently has it is that now I've just bought a team, I go to customize, where are they? They're not necessarily the last 4, for example, like the guys with the visors. There's one at the bottom and then another one much nearer the top or the middle. So there's no way of ordering them by purchase order or ordering them by current selected team or something like that. So I've mentioned that in the feedback form. But also when you go in to visit them, there's no like, remind me which genome they have. Like I have to come out and go into edit matchday squad and then go into swap, and then I get to see their genome, which is this rainbow colored bar under attributes. So that's like get new players and you've got to go to 2 different places to either put clothes in them or see what their genome is. So that's that genome. It'd be great to order them by genome as well. Like if I'm looking for a particular trait, I want more accuracy, show me all the highest accurate players. Anyway, let's keep playing. Did you hear about stamina temper? What do you mean? Is that Dutch? We do a little catch. That's definitely a bit off. It should be filtered by recent. Yeah, it should be filtered by recent. AC Grizzle. Let's go with the city lights. What might be cool is if it linked to some, like what if the game linked to Spotify and you could just play a particular playlist. That would be cool. Because again, you play 2,000 games and all of the songs are now boring. Like cool, but boring. Spread out, kids. I think I've noticed my team learn. Oh, what a goal! I think I've noticed my team learning how to kick it off the wall. Like I don't know if they did that by default. And obviously with the traits I've given them, they do spread out a bit more. Great goal. I would love to see more positional play. I kind of just, oh, so unlucky with the time there. I want to get Dead Hat to do a commentary track. Expletives on or expletives off as an option. Would be interesting if ball hitting the wall would count as out of bounds. Someone from the team, I think it was David, mentioned that from their point of view, it seemed that the characters had learned that if the ball gets trapped in a bunch of people by the wall, that they've learned to kick it out. it's hard to know whether that's actually true. Obviously, they have a better handle on what they've programmed and what they haven't. It seems just like sometimes when they kick it against the wall, it goes out, and sometimes it doesn't. But if they're saying that they've learned to kick it through the wall in order to reset the ball to the middle, that's kind of interesting. Nova says, it would be interesting to see the ball hitting the wall would count as out of bounds to see how they would adapt. Yeah, I don't know why they made a field where you could bounce the ball off the wall. I mean, I kind of do know that, but wouldn't you just tell them, hey, keep the ball in bounds and don't kick it out? But obviously it was a design choice. And I just saw recently a goal scored off the wall, so it is possible. So yeah, I would love to have an AMA with the team and actually just ask them those questions, like what was your default build and what have the players learned? Back to work for you. Thank you for streaming. We'll keep looking. All good. Thanks for chatting. It was good to chat. I don't know how much longer I'll do this anyway. Doyle. Doyle is a good opponent. Why? I'm not sure. Superstopper Fortress. Okay. Golden Boots Goal Machine. Yep, that's fair enough. Close Quarters Goal Machine. Fortress Obsession. Okay, so you've got some traits following the ball, some traits standing back, some traits going forward. So that's kind of the balance you want. I don't have too dissimilar. Golden Boots Fortress. Fortress Superstopper. So there's my defense. Superstopper team player. So maybe I have too much defense. Golden Boots Blaster. Yeah, I don't actually have a goal machine in there. So what if we change Golden Boots Fortress? How about we change the Fortress to Goal Machine? Let's see if that makes a difference. I think I had that way before and I changed it, but anyway, let's see what that does. Down the Rabbit Hole Spaces is live, just in case anyone's interested. So I'm kind of expecting to lose this match because I think the last 2 or 3 I've played against Doyle I lost. And I'm not sure what that one player change will mean for me. See, there's their defense dropping back, their offense pushing the ball up. Didn't feel like mine was overly different, but obviously different enough to mean that they're a bit stronger, which is fine. That's all good. Oh yeah, I gotta go. From halfway. Beautiful. Straight through all my defense. So 2-all with 4 seconds to go. Looks like a drawn game. I'd kind of expect that because we're pretty close. Nice. Alright, well that has been the AI League beta testing. It's certainly a lot of fun. It was fun getting to the top of the world for a moment, and being third. We'll sign off with my favourite being third in the world out of probably, I think there's like 100 and something people who tested it. Probably only about 40 active though, maybe more. Crypto Kid. I did enjoy collecting the wearables, trying to collect the players. I would like to be able to delete players or sell them or trade them. Maybe you trade 3 players for the chance of getting a new player just to see what might happen. Or maybe 2 for 1 or something like that. Could be a cool metric. And I think also the wearables, maybe if there was some kind of marketplace for them, or swap, community swap house or something. Anyway, thanks for watching, and thanks to the Altered State Machine crew for the chance to be able to test this game for them. It's been a lot of fun, and I can't wait for the launch. It's going to be great. Thanks for those who tuned in, and for those watching on the replay. If you're interested in the game, keep your eyes out, and see you on the field. See you guys.